Well, rehabilitation programs play a pivotal role, of course, in restoring dignity to the homeless population of the Cape Town central city. Well, Streetscapes is an NGO in Cape Town, has helped, listen to this, 85% of its homeless clients stay off the streets within 6 months of joining one of its rehabilitation programs. Well, the NGO is run by Khulisa Social Services. For more on this, it's a huge pleasure to welcome Jesse Laitinen, Manager for Strategic Partnerships for Khulisa Social Solutions, to the show. Jesse, good morning. I mean, it's incredible work that I've been looking at as far as everything online is concerned. And I said at the top of this show, the work you're doing important at any time of the year, but we're quickly heading into autumn and winter. Congratulations and good morning. Tell me about this.
Thanks, and good morning, everyone. So Streetscapes is really a social innovation program, and we've had to look at how do you address those underlying issues, because homelessness is definitely not about brick and mortar, not for that very hard to reach chronic homeless clientele. So we're looking at social innovation, economic innovation, and housing innovation. How do you employ people who are unemployable? How do you address some of the most difficult social and mental health issues? And how do you house those that are actively using drugs? It's been an exciting journey.
And how do you do that? I mean, I imagine trying to assist somebody, even before we get to the employment aspect of what you do, finding them a place to live, particularly if there is substance abuse. And I see that substance intervention is a big part of what you do. Before you can even put them into a job, you need to help them as an individual, A. And B, Jesse, I understand these people would need to be wanting the help as well.
Correct. So I suppose the first step really is to understand that behind these issues of this particular clientele is often deep-seated traumas. And I'm afraid a lot of our homeless services have missed this. They are not trauma sensitive. So you return the person's dignity, but start unpacking some of the issues that have happened to them when the families have rejected them or abused them or neglected them. And that's where you start kind of unbundling a lot of these issues. Then the more practical things is you would develop services that allow individuals that are still using to start the journey of recovery in a house, off the streets, in a job. So the focus is always on developmental. How do we use any opportunity that comes to assist a person to learn? So it's almost like your university of life. We don't see problems as problems only. They become your learning opportunities. Where's my behavior coming from? What has triggered this? How do I practice other ways of responding to situations? And it really then becomes a learning program instead of just a housing or employment program.
I'm fascinated by the fact, and I'm sure many people have said this to you, Jesse, that you're using the word clientele. And I think it's so important because when you and I started talking, you were saying one of the key pillars is the restoring of a sense of pride and purpose, and not referring to them as homeless, but rather as clientele. Already gives a sense of pride in the way you're approaching this. I don't imagine, though, this is very easy to do. I'm sure there are government organizations that are doing what they can. Perhaps it's not enough. What do you need in order to try and grow and strengthen what you're doing? In the last minute or so I have with you.
I suppose you need to have a little bit Harry Potter in you. So you see the magic, you see the invisible. So it's so easy for us to see a homeless person with a whole heap of their issues. But you forget underneath the wounded child that if you look at individuals in their entirety and you look at them in their potential, it's much easier to approach people with dignity and truly kind of have a human connection, because I know myself, just from my own background, how easy it could be if you have any mental health issues to fall through the cracks. And fortunately, I was in a society that helped me. But many here fall through all the society's cracks, and it's not a pathology. It's not something dated. It's something that happened to them, and we're not catching them early enough.
If someone is watching now, particularly where you operate down in the Cape Town city centre area, and they want to try and make contact with you, perhaps they themselves have found themselves in this position, or it's a loved one that needs the kind of assistance that you're offering, Jesse. Last question to you. How does someone get hold of you?
Probably the easiest would be to pop into our office. We are situated in a community garden next to Roland Street Food Lovers Market. And there's always a group of us available there for a chat.
Okay, nice and easily accessible as well. Congratulations. It sounds like a wonderful initiative. 85% of the homeless clientele, I love the use of that word in this conversation, has been helped by Streetscapes, an NGO in Cape Town. Jesse Laitinen, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. Manager for Strategic Partnerships at Khulisa Social Solutions from down in Cape Town.